It is Thursday, March 24th. We are a few hours away from Bridgerton Season 2 dropping on Netflix, so it's finally time for me to conclude my rewatch of Season 1. I have 2 episodes left. Okay, let's see if it loads. Nope, not that. Oh my god. Okay. Starting with episode 1. Capital R. Rake. Anthony begins his search for a wife. Eloise braves her society debut, and Lady Danbury helps the Queen choose a diamond among the season's debutantes. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Bees. I don't know what the bees mean because I've never read the books, but they must mean something. They're everywhere. There she is. Uh-oh. I think this is Eloise preparing for her debut. Aww. I can tell she's thrilled.
If one of what is a single word. 6 pence a bit.
Oh. She hates it. She looks so beautiful though. I am exhausted. I only ended up watching 1 episode, which I was only planning on because I'm very tired. I'm gonna quickly run through the characters and what happened in episode 1, starting with the Bridgerton family. Violet Bridgerton has her hands full this season. She's not only watching over Anthony, who's looking for a wife now, she's watching over Eloise, who is making her debut. There's concerns on both sides. Anthony is being so emotionless about his search, and Eloise is terrified and always gets out of any event she's supposed to be attending. She always gets out of any kind of social interaction, talking to anybody. There's even a few guys who try to ask her to dance, and she gets out of it. I can't really blame her. Honestly, Eloise is the character I relate to the most. Yeah, Violet has her hands full. Anthony, as I said before, the Viscount is finally looking for a wife. At the end of season 1, he had his heart broken by the woman he was having an affair with, the opera singer. Now, he's determined to do his family duty and marry well. But because of the broken heart, he's not thinking about love in any way. He's going about it like a businessman looking for the perfect investment. He is being so strict, asking how many languages they speak, their dance experience, what kind of books they read. They're not bad questions, but his standards are so, well, I don't want to make it seem like your standards should be high. He should, just the way he's going about it, his tone, you can tell that he's just going about it the wrong way. Let's put it that way. Also, he's doing interviews. Like, interviews for a wife? So funny. And then once the season officially starts, he declares that he'll marry whomever the Queen chooses as the diamond of the season. Benedict Bridgerton, being his hilarious self as usual, especially with Eloise, love him. The woman he was having an affair with in season 1, Madame Delacroix, the modiste, she is back in town to make dresses for everybody. They briefly see each other at the Bridgerton home, and he asks if they're going to resume their relationship. Will he see her tonight at the party? And she turns him down. It seems like she does not want to continue the relationship. I'm keeping an eye on Benedict because the next Bridgerton book is about Benedict. So season 3 will probably be about Benedict. Colin is still traveling. I'm not actually sure if he's coming back this season, maybe towards the end. I don't really know how much we're going to see of him. Daphne. We see the Duchess briefly in the beginning of the episode. She has left Simon and the baby to be with Eloise when she goes before the Queen, which doesn't really happen. Lady Whistledown has been quiet for 10 months. Right before Eloise is gonna walk towards the Queen, Lady Whistledown puts out a paper, and the Queen says, "We're done." And she walks out to read it. Saved by the bell for Eloise. And that's the last time we see Daphne for now. But I know she's gonna be popping up every now and again throughout the entire season. Eloise is now out in society and not thriving at all, not living her best life. I feel so bad. But at least she has this season and next season and possibly the season after. I mean, all the way through season 4, because I think season 5, book 5 is Eloise. We still have Benedict and Colin, maybe? Unless Eloise comes before Colin, I'm not sure, but she's still got a little time to mess around, you know, get out of this kind of stuff, but her mother is not happy with her. The elusive Francesca is here, finally. She was away for some kind of piano thing most of season 1. Now we have her, but only for a few episodes, because 3 episodes into filming, she had to leave the set. And the creators said it was beyond their control. I don't know if it was some kind of family emergency, something like that, but it was something they couldn't control. I don't know, I kind of think it's like a hilarious running gag that Francesca's almost never at home. Of course, we briefly see Gregory and Hyacinth. They're still very young. Their storylines aren't the most important right now, so I assume just like in season 1, they'll be popping up every now and again when we're at the Bridgerton home. Lady Danbury's back. She's, probably my favorite character. I love her. This season, she is hosting the Sharma family at her home for the entire season. Mary Sharma is actually a friend of hers. Mary used to live in London, but she left, and it's kind of a secret for the first bit of the episode. And then it's revealed that she left in scandal. Not really a scandal. She married someone who had no title and moved back with him to India to live with him and his daughter from a previous relationship. And then she had a daughter of her own. I mean, she gave birth to, like, his child. They are now back. He has passed away. The Queen is not happy with her. I think number 1, she's angry about the scandal, and number 2, she's angry because Mary Sharma left London without going before the Queen, saying goodbye. The Queen's petty, right? It's just the kind of thing she would do. But Lady Danbury said she's going to do her best to keep the Sharmas in the Queen's good graces. Kate Sharma is the oldest daughter. She is Mary's stepdaughter and Edwina's half-sister. At first, Lady Danbury can't really wrap her head around why Kate is being so strict with her sister about what man she spends her time with. I mean, she's just very strict, and obviously she could just be an overprotective sister, but she's also challenging Lady Danbury at every turn, sort of monopolizing the situation. Finally, she gets to the bottom of it. Mary's parents, the Sheffields, disowned her when she married a commoner. I can't remember. I don't really know who reached out. Maybe they reached out or Kate to them. Basically, they've now said they will support the family if Edwina marries nobility. Now we get to the main reason that Kate is being so strict. She doesn't care about her own match. She cares about Edwina making a noble match because she really wants her mother and her sister taken care of. And I can admire her for putting them above herself. Edwina Sharma, she's the youngest sister. She's so beautiful and sweet. Definitely a little more laid back than Kate. Even though the queen is upset, Lady Danbury knows how to get to her. She's like, you know you wanted to shake up this season. You know what you have to do that. So she goes ahead and names Edwina the diamond of the season. Now, if you'll remember what I said earlier about Anthony, he said, whoever the diamond is, that will be the woman he'll marry. So we see him say, I'm going to marry Edwina Sharma. That's who he's going after because she's the diamond. Miss Kate is adamant that Edwina cannot go anywhere near him. Early on in the episode, they meet during a horseback ride. It's very tense and competitive. She is being very mysterious, and it's obvious that Anthony likes her from the get-go. I don't know. It's like he's very charmed by her. I mean, for one, she's gorgeous. We can all see that, right? Later, they meet again at a ball. She wandered onto the porch because she was kind of following him. She had seen him in the crowd. She overhears a conversation between him and some other guys. She knows kind of how he's looking for a wife, and she does not approve. She doesn't like him at all. Once Edwina is named the diamond, he immediately goes up and asks her to dance. After that, he meets Kate and finds out she's Edwina's sister. Now things are interesting because there's this mysterious girl he's been charmed by. You can tell every time she shows up, he's happy. I love this, okay? This sort of competitive enemies to lovers thing that's gonna happen. I'm gonna eat this up, okay? I'm definitely gonna eat this up. However, I have to be honest about how I'm feeling. This is going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of Kate at the moment. I'm sorry. I know I said I didn't feel their chemistry in the trailer, and some people were like, what? I definitely think they're gonna have chemistry this season, but I'm still not feeling it, you know? I'm not feeling that sinking feeling in my gut that makes me feel like I'm going down on a roller coaster. Not feeling that yet. However, it's only episode 1. That I'm not really concerned about. I'm sure that will develop in my eyes. Some people might have felt it in episode 1, and that's great. I'm just not feeling it a ton. I'm still feeling a chemistry, but not a lot of chemistry. Kate herself, I know the personality, it's on purpose and all of that, but there's just something about the character, the acting, and the attitude I am not gelling with just quite yet. Before anyone jumps down my throat, I just want to mention I'm not a huge fan of Daphne either. She was not my favorite character last season. At all. Just throwing that out there. We'll see with Kate. But I have to be honest. I'm not loving her at the moment. Queen Charlotte is obviously keeping her eye on the season and all of that. But she is out for blood with Lady Whistledown. She wants to put her out of business because after a hiatus, Lady Whistledown is back. She's not only influencing people, but she's openly challenging things that the Queen says, things that the Queen does. I mean, actually just calling out the Queen at this point. The Queen is furious. She's having her power challenged, and she wants none of it. Obviously, we know Lady Whistledown is Penelope, who is doing her best to survive. Her dad died in season 1. Her family is upside down, her home life, and she's living this secret life as Lady Whistledown, and I don't really know how she's funding it. She must have been putting away money for a while because the family's barely scraping by. She had to change printers because obviously she was almost found out when the Queen had these detectives watching her. She was almost caught, and Eloise saved her at the last minute. She's at a new printer. The way she hides it is she pretends to be a maid, and she's doing all of this on behalf of her mistress, who's Lady Whistledown. The great thing is that as this, I guess she's a maid, I don't really know who she's pretending to be, some kind of maid or assistant, something like that, to Lady Whistledown. Nicola, the actress, uses her native Irish accent, and I loved hearing it. That's going to be very interesting this season. I think Lady Whistledown and Queen Charlotte, they're going to be facing off the entire time. And now, because of Penelope's hiatus for 10 months while everyone was out of the city, now the Queen suspects it has to be one of us. She's getting closer, but not close enough, because literally no one suspects Penelope. Last but not least, we have the Featherington family. The mother, Portia Featherington, is trying to hold the family together until the new heir arrives. She's relying on him to take in her family and support them. They're not doing well. They're still in their house. They're still dressed nicely, but they're selling possessions to make money. They're not eating a lot. At one point, I don't know what you would call her, like Portia's lady-in-waiting or the housekeeper, probably the housekeeper, she talks about making potatoes for dinner, and the girls are complaining. They're like, we literally always eat potatoes or some other boiled vegetable. They're eating very light these days. Philippa Featherington is still engaged to Albion Finch. His parents are getting anxious. They really want to settle her dowry so they can get their son out of the house and get them married. Portia puts on quite the performance of a grieving wife to keep them at bay, but they're running out of time. It's been 10 months now. Mrs. Finch believes her performance, but her and her husband were not a love match, and his reputation for gambling was well known, so I don't know how much longer people will be polite about her crying and whatnot. Fortunately for Portia and the rest of her family, the heir shows up at the end of the episode. They're shocked because they were expecting an old man that Portia actually knew, and she was not happy about it because apparently he was not a nice man. He actually died, and the heir that shows up is his son, who is young, and he seems nice so far. Miss Prudence Featherington points out that he's handsome, and now I'm wondering if they're headed for a romance. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And that is all the characters and what they were up to in episode 1. Now I'm going to turn on episode 2. I'd really like to binge the series in one day. I don't think I can wait. So that is the plan today. The only break I plan on taking is a Starbucks break. And then I'll be right back here watching more episodes.
I wish she could. And not Lady Whistledown, but someone more like Colin.
Look who's back! Literally episode 2. I guess that answers that question. Just finished episode 2. I'm still not loving Kate, but I do like the banter between her and Kanthony. It's just not gripping me. And it's specifically her. I don't know what's going on with that. But it's only episode 2. Still have 6 more episodes. I loving the show, don't get me wrong. I'm just confused as to why I'm not gelling with Kate, because I'm pretty sure the popular opinion is going to be that she's amazing and everyone's favorite. Of course, I have to be different. Queen Charlotte requested the pictures and names of all the young ladies that have been talking to Edwina Sharma because she suspects that one of them is Lady Whistledown. And one of the images is Penelope Featherington, which is way too close for comfort. We'll see how that goes. Penelope goes on a mission to buy a new letter K for the printer that prints Lady Whistledown's papers because Eloise is looking at the K's and it matches this other paper that's printed by the same printing press, and the K's are like damaged in both. So she's getting very close to figuring out, yes, that is where Lady Whistledown is printed. That would lead her to probably doing some kind of stakeout and trying to catch Lady Whistledown in action. While Penelope is buying the letter K, she is seen by Madame Delacroix, and she instinctually turns around and runs, which confuses Madame Delacroix even more. Oh, Penelope, how's she gonna get out of this? On to episode 3. Okay, now I get the bees. Edmund Bridgerton, their father, he died from a bee sting. Obviously some kind of allergic reaction. And bees have been everywhere on this show. Obviously they're symbolic, but are they using bees as a sign of bad things to come? Or is it kind of like the bee represents their father watching over them? Interesting. I don't really know. The reason I'm confused is because the bee's always around, but bad things don't always happen. Like when Daphne gave birth, there was a bee in the window. That's why I say maybe it represents, their father is some kind of guardian angel. Sorry, it's really hot. I just finished a little mini workout. I got my Starbucks, much needed cold brew with caffeine, bagel with cream cheese and strawberry jelly, and now it's time to continue with episode 3. Here's something about the love triangle. Edwina likes Anthony. She doesn't really know him, right? They're still getting to know each other. The problem is that even though they hate each other, Kate and Anthony are somewhat meant for each other. You would think strong personalities wouldn't go together, but I think in their case, opposites don't necessarily attract. I think they like it, if that makes sense. The egging each other on, they like it. Right now it's a secret, but they love it. Edwina is very sweet. She is not at all like Kate, and she's not at all like Anthony in this regard. And it's becoming clear during the Pall Mall game. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Pall Mall. I think that's how they said it. Everyone in the Bridgerton family is super competitive, and Kate is fitting right in with it. And Edwina, she doesn't like it. She just wanted to enjoy the game. The Bridgertons and Kate want to win. She's so sweet. And I have a theory. Oh, I forget his name, but there is this other suitor that she seemed to really like, and he seems to match her more than Anthony. I am wondering if when Kate and Anthony inevitably get together, Edwina matches with the other suitor. Now, I don't think she has to have a match by the end of the episode. I'm just saying she seemed to really like him. So, keeping that theory in my head for now. I'm gonna get back to the episode. I think Daphne might be catching on. She actually mistook Kate for Edwina when they first met. She assumed because Anthony talked to her first that she was Edwina, but then he had to tell her, nope, that's Kate. They were so competitive. I know it's really low. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Colin sent them off alone on purpose. No way.
You'll play, my lord, unless the offer's too dirty these 5 weeks.
Do not worry about my boots.
This is good. Might be my favorite scene of theirs yet. See what I mean? They're enjoying this. Oh, is he? Oh. Oh. I know.
Would you want my help or not?
No.
It is not amusing.
Did not say it was.
Okay, yeah. Favorite scene yet with them two. Did you see that look she gave him? The smile? That was a genuine smile from her. Okay, so I got distracted. My mom and I were on the phone with my sister for like an hour, but I'm back to episode 3 and it is killing me. I mentioned the game already. Love that scene. Lady Featherington is trying to matchmake so her daughter Prudence? Yeah, Prudence, the one that's not engaged. She's trying to matchmake her with Lord Featherington, Jack, their cousin, by the way. I forgot he was their cousin. I'm not really down with family relationships like that, so don't think from our first discussion about episode 1 that I was cheering for them. I was just wondering because she mentioned that he's handsome, okay? But now that I remember they're cousins, I just can't root for that kind of thing. Anyways, Lady Featherington wants to stay in their house and sort of still have control over things, so she's using her daughter as a pawn. And her matchmaking efforts so far, oh my gosh, killing me. On top of that, the Bridgertons invited the Sharmas over to their house. They're throwing a big party, but they invited the Sharmas over early so Edwina and Anthony could spend more time together. By the way, I've been calling him Anthony. His name, it seems, is actually Antony. So my apologies. For some reason, I didn't remember that from the first season. It's spelled like Anthony, but it's Antony. Right now, Anthony and Edwina are in the parlor talking, and Violet and Lady Danbury are chaperoning, and they're sitting nearby reading the paper and doing like a cross-stitch thing. They're chaperoning but pretending not to listen, but also listening to every word that's being said, and every time something piques their interest, they'll go from like relaxed to like perking up. It's killing me. Oh my gosh, I actually think episode 3 is my favorite episode so far. Watch this. Look at this, the two of them eavesdropping.
Do I really wish to know?
Nope.
Do not answer that.
Back to it. Look at her against the door, oh my gosh. They are killing me. What was that? What was that? Remember what I told you about the father. Kate and Antony are talking and a bee lands on her and stings her. And he freaks out because that's how his father died. And he starts having a panic attack. She holds his hand to kind of where her heart is and then puts her hand around where his heart is. And they're just staring intently into each other's eyes. When he's calmed down, they separate. They're literally like about to kiss, and a horse neighs somewhere nearby, and they quickly like snap out of it. They run away in separate directions, and listen, they're breathing heavily, like I think they just realized the strength of their connection and their chemistry. The only other things to mention, Daphne is back. She's staying at the house with the baby for the party that the Bridgertons are throwing. Madame Delacroix knows who Penelope is, and Penelope asks her to join her, partner with her, because it's becoming harder to conceal her identity. That's gonna be interesting. Sorry, my hair, whew, what a mess. Oh, is it Cressida? Cressida Cowper? She is vying for Lord Featherington. So she's in direct competition to Prudence. And they're going head to head. Lord Featherington is not really paying attention to Prudence. Her mother's matchmaking endeavors are not working. He really likes Cressida for some reason. So we'll see where that goes. I'm immediately jumping into episode 4. I don't think I breathed during the entire library scene. And like, nothing physical happened, but I can't even talk. I could not breathe. I felt like I should be quiet as well. Like, what a scene. What a scene. Also, Edwina mentioned that her sister hunts because she wanted her to go on the hunt with the men to spend time with Anthony, so hopefully the two of them would make up because she thinks they hate each other. They do not. During the hunt, they find themselves alone, and Anthony helps her learn how to hold her gun properly. Wow. When she gets back to the room, she's breathing heavily, and her sister comes out of nowhere, scares the life out of her, and her sister's like, "Tell me everything. Are you and Anthony finally warming to each other?" Yeah. To say the least. Yes, they are. And then the library scene, she can't sleep because of the storm, and he finds her in the library, and they talk about their dads, and wow. Things are getting really good. You won't even believe what's going on. Jack Featherington was not paying attention to Prudence. He was paying a lot of attention to Cressida Cowper. So, Lady Portia trapped him into a scandal with his daughter, which forced him to accept a marriage with her because it's scandalous and a bunch of people saw them alone together, and Portia made it seem like something it was not. Come to find out, this man is not rich. He doesn't have a single cent to his name. He was trying to marry rich to take care of the family, but because of Portia's scheming, now he's trapped in a marriage to her daughter, and they still have no money. Wow. Don't know what they're gonna do about that. Kate and Anthony had another moment in the library, that stinking library. They were so close to kissing again. So close, and then Daphne walked in. Now she knows something's going on. And then they danced at the ball. Lady Danbury knows now, or at least she knows that Kate has feelings for Anthony. She encourages her that she needs to be honest with her sister. As they're leaving the Bridgerton house, Edwina is so upset that she hasn't been proposed to. Kate looks like she's about to tell her what's going on. All of a sudden, Anthony comes out of the house and proposes, and she accepts. Going into episode 5, Anthony and Edwina are engaged, and poor Kate is miserable. The drama? Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm halfway through. I'm already getting sad that it's over. I feel like I'm immediately going to start from episode 1 once it's done. It's so good. This is immediately after the proposal. Just watch what happens. Oh. Watch. Pride and Prejudice fans, pay close attention.
Michele.
Did you see that? Their pinky fingers were like magnets. Episode 5 is done. Lady Featherington has talked Lord Featherington into scamming men to invest in his American mines. They're completely worthless, but if they scam them, they can make back their fortune, or at least a good chunk of money to keep them going. Benedict is now attending art school, and he's met a woman whom he's already entangled with. That will not make it easy next season, will it? Unless she's the one he marries. I have no idea. Eloise is secretly attending women's rights meetings. She's struck up an interesting friendship with a young man that works at the printer where Lady Whistledown's papers are printed. Penelope is suspicious. She thinks Eloise is going to find out her identity. But also, because of all these distractions, Eloise has not been spending as much time with Penelope, which is sad. She's just very distracted. I'm wondering where this is going with Eloise, because I already know what happens with Eloise in the books. I don't know if she ends up marrying this guy with no title, or if she ends up marrying the guy from the book, who just so happens to be Marina Thompson's husband, Lord Crane. By the way, Colin went to visit her. Was that in episode 4? I don't think I brought it up. He went to visit her to sort of bury the hatchet, and she got real with him and told him he needs to forget what happened between them and move on. I think that got his attention. In the books, she actually takes her own life, and Lord Crane remarries. He marries Eloise. Don't know if they're going to follow that or not, but that is an interesting direction. Mary Sharma's parents, Lord and Lady Sheffield, show up to meet Edwina, their granddaughter. They've never met her before because the family has been estranged. Everything's fine at first, and then the mom starts making comments about what Mary did, marrying a commoner, leaving her family. It gets very heated, and the truth comes out about Kate marrying Edwina off to nobility. No one knew about that. The mom didn't know, Edwina didn't know, obviously the Bridgertons didn't know. Lady Danbury is the only person who knew, but obviously she keeps her mouth shut. Anthony is so upset, but he yells at the Sheffields and kicks them out of the house. Go, Anthony. They were being so rude. Edwina is upset, but she reconciles with Kate eventually, and they're okay. Kate and Anthony share another moment. He calls her the bane of his existence, and then the source of all his desires. So now they both know how they feel about one another, but they don't want to break Edwina's heart because she tells Kate that she is in love with Anthony. I don't think she actually is. I just think she thinks she is. But Kate doesn't want her sister to get her heart broken. So now it's like between a rock and a hard place. Anthony told her he was going to break the engagement, but Kate now knows that Edwina loves him, so she tells him, you better keep your promise and marry her. And the episode ends with her sobbing. And I don't know how this is going to go. I get the drama. I do. I will say it's annoying that Kate hasn't been honest, because she says she wants the best for her sister, but this puts everyone in a horrible position, because even if her and Anthony are willing to keep their feelings a secret and go on, enough people know by now it could easily get out. If that comes out, everyone's part of a scandal, and it's even worse for her sister. She should have just been honest before they even got engaged. That would have been better for everyone in the long run. But I get the drama. I do. I just wish, like, the truth had come out before an actual engagement. It just seems like it does more harm to her sister. What if they get married and it comes out? Like, something like that. So I guess we'll see where they take this story. I'm still really enjoying the show. There have definitely been better moments between Kate and Anthony in the last few episodes. However, there are still moments here and there where I feel disconnected from them and their chemistry. But the show is still an obsession. Here we go, episode 6. If you've never seen Bridgerton, I don't know why you're watching this video if you haven't, but the queen, her husband the king, has dementia, so he is not involved in any kind of public life. There's drama at the wedding that I'll get into later, but while she's having a private conversation with Lady Bridgerton, Lady Danbury, Mary Sharma, and Edwina Sharma, the king wanders in. Apparently he got away from whoever was supposed to be watching over him, and he's very confused. He saw the fireworks that accidentally went off, and he thinks it's his wedding day to the queen. And he's going on and on about it and saying, "Did I miss the ceremony?" He's so confused. The queen's very frazzled because this is a very sensitive subject with her. She has to deal with a lot privately that nobody knows about. No one knows what to say. They're trying to be polite, stay quiet. 2 servants finally show up to take him away, and he's very upset. Edwina speaks up. She is so kind, and she gently talks to him. She plays along and she says, "You and the queen are going to rule beautifully together." And then she kind of eases him into letting the men take him away, saying, "I think you need your rest before the ceremony." And she's just so kind in calming him down. And it brings the queen to tears. This is probably the most emotion I felt this whole season. And it's just a testament to Edwina and who she is. She's just the sweetest person. Oh my gosh. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I actually liked this episode. But that scene, even if I don't like the episode as a whole, that scene alone is so well acted. Wow. Okay, episode 5 is done. Here's what happened. So, during the wedding ceremony, which, by the way, it should have never gotten this far, ever, Edwina notices that Anthony is not looking at her. He's looking past her at her sister, and he's not even hearing the minister at all. By the way, to make matters worse, the queen is hosting their wedding. Oh my gosh, it all went too far. Then Kate's bangle falls off, and he immediately dives for it and helps her put it back on. Edwina starts breathing heavily, panicking, and she says she needs a moment. They have to ask the guests to go out into the garden. The queen is furious. Edwina and her mother are furious at Kate for all her lies, all the hurt she's caused. The entire episode is mostly everyone waiting to see if Edwina says yes or no. Kate and Anthony have a couple of moments together. Finally, at the end, Edwina brings them both together and tells them she cannot marry Anthony because she deserves someone who's going to love her. I don't know where we go from here with the sisters. Edwina started calling Kate her half-sister, which she has never done. She is furious because all along Kate has controlled everything she's done, said she had her best interests at heart, which I think she did. But she lied so much and let this all get so far, it hurt her sister way more than it would have if she had just been honest episodes ago. If Kate had said something during the courting stage, it would have been much easier to get over with. Even during the engagement stage, she let it get to the wedding day, and then everything came out publicly during the ceremony. And then, at the end, Kate and Anthony are alone, and they're about to part ways, and then they kiss. Because they just can't take it anymore. Ooh, I felt it when they first kissed, but I'm still underwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed by Kate, and I'm underwhelmed by them as a couple. I'm also not loving how far they took this secret love. We are 6 episodes in. I'm enjoying this season. I'm going to rewatch it. However, I think season 1 is my favorite. And then season 2, there are emotions somewhere in there. That moment with the king made me cry. A couple of Anthony and Kate's moments have, given me stomach flutters, right? It just hasn't been consistent. It's been very inconsistent. The acting, the chemistry, it's just not punching me in the gut like the first season. And I'm sure that's an unpopular opinion, but I have to be honest, it's not going to be my favorite. And that's okay, because there's going to be a lot of seasons. The plan is to do a season for every book, and there's a lot of siblings. So, not every season is going to be a favorite, and that's okay. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy the show. That's the great thing about an ensemble like this. There are so many things going on that even if I'm not loving the main romance, there are other things I can be paying attention to. It doesn't bother me. All things considered, I'm having a great time. Another thing, Eloise does think she has feelings for this guy Theo from the printer, and she tells him that she has feelings, and he says he has feelings for her too. Except he doesn't say those words. He actually expresses himself by saying he's read a whole bunch of books and now he wants her to read them so they can talk about them. That's his way of saying, yes, I have feelings for you because I care for you and your opinions on things. So, very interested to see where this leads. This is obviously, like I said, not how the book goes when we get to Eloise. I don't know if she ends up marrying Theo on the show or not. I've never read the books, so I don't really care. Some people will care. I've already seen comments that don't like season 2 because it deviated a lot from the book, apparently. I don't know any of that, so I guess ignorance is bliss in this instance. Anyways, enough rambling. It is time for episode 7. Only 2 episodes to go. And the couple is not together yet. So we shall see how they wrap all this up.
Newton.
Watch this.
Oh, Newton. My apologies. Newton. Newton.
Oh.
Was I truly that blind?
Poor Edwina.
Are they always this obvious?
Yeah.
If this plan is to work, I suggest the two of you stare on opposite sides of the room at all times. All we need would be for someone to witness something untoward.
I beg your pardon, Lady Damry.
I totally forgot to mention this 2 episodes ago. Lady Featherington and her family's cousin, Lord Jack Featherington, the one who's engaged to her daughter, yeah, they're now flirting. It's a lot to handle. I have no idea where that's going, but it's interesting, I swear. If they end up together or, do other things, I don't know. I don't know about this one. What is wrong with this family? No wonder Penelope wants to get out and be free. These people are nuts. I'll be honest, I did not like episode 7. It had its good moments. Probably my favorite moment was the ball. No one shows up, so the Bridgertons, Lady Danbury, and the Sharmas all dance together. It was a really sweet scene. A really sad thing is that the Queen thinks Eloise is Lady Whistledown, and she tells her if she doesn't confess, she'll make sure her family is never accepted in society ever again. Eloise is about to lie because she wants to save her family. And of course she's telling Penelope everything. Penelope resists at first, but eventually she puts out a new Lady Whistledown paper. Following the advice of Madame Delacroix, she writes an article about Eloise's secret meetings with Theo. That way the Queen is thrown off the scent, because why would Eloise write an article about herself? The Bridgertons were already trying to recover from the wedding scandal. Now they have the Eloise scandal. And on top of that, Lord Featherington and Lady Featherington are trying to scam Colin into investing in the American mines, which are worthless. Colin is very eager to do it because he really wants to find purpose in life, and he thinks this investment is his way to do so. The Bridgertons are in big trouble here. Scandal upon scandal upon scandal. Part of the reason I didn't like episode 7 is because it dragged more than any episode in season 1 or in season 2. Even the Anthony and Kate storyline is now starting to drag because they're still not together. Listen, I love a slow burn, but they did the enemies to lovers thing, right? And then, oh look, they developed these strong feelings for each other, but they weren't honest. Made it to her sister's wedding day, it comes out it harms her sister. Now, everyone's hurting, they don't really have anything to lose, and she's pushing him away, and they're still fighting it. At the end of the episode, it all comes to a head. They're still kind of, he wants her, she's pushing him away, and then they end up sleeping together. And I did not like that. I don't like that happened. She doesn't really know how she's feeling, so she goes back to the house, then goes out on her horse in the rain. Anthony comes to talk to her. I think he's planning on proposing because he grabs his mother's ring. She's gone. He goes after her on horseback, and he watches her fall off her horse and hit her head. And that is where we're at in episode 8, which is the finale. I feel their chemistry. I don't feel their chemistry. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There are good things about this season, great things about this season, but the creators of the show promised dynamite chemistry, and I feel sparks of it now and again, but it never quite ignites for me. I got a few comments saying they didn't understand why I didn't feel any chemistry in the trailer. I did feel some chemistry. I just wasn't feeling that fire I felt in the first season. And I stand by that because I've now watched almost the entire season and I'm still feeling that way. Simon and Daphne were not inconsistent. They sizzled from episode 1 to episode 8. Kate and Anthony, they're hot and cold. Also, I've been up and down with Kate the entire season. That hasn't really helped matters. I don't like to be negative. But I have to be honest, that's what a good reviewer does. Alright, let's see what episode 8 has to offer. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Anthony was there when his father died. He watched him die in his mother's arms, and it was traumatic. And he immediately became Lord Bridgerton. He was so young, but he had to step up. Seeing Kate like that with a head wound, he was emotional. He was scared. But now, a week later, he's avoiding it. And I get that, right? I get that side of it. But he is so insufferable, none of his family want to be around him, and he continues to push down his feelings and just be a jerk. It's been very inconsistent with the romance, and I wasn't sure how I felt about Kate. I've been very meh about her, but I still liked Anthony. Now I'm not even liking him. At this point, I don't even know what I'm rooting for. Kate had her mother and her sister angry at her. Anthony had his entire family mad at him. Like, they just took it too far, and now they're stuck in this weird limbo. And I'm like, I don't want them separate, but I also don't want them together. I think they've just dragged it on too much. And now we're in the final episode, and I'm indifferent to what's going on. It really sucks when something you've been so excited for is a disappointment. I know there's other people who must feel like me, because I've seen a couple comments that have said the same things I'm saying. It's just, I need to settle down. I'm upset. I'm upset. And I'm trying not to say things that are too mean or things that I'll regret, but yeah, I'm very upset. Okay, now there's not one single character that's not getting on my nerves, but let's stay focused on the couple. So Kate finally awakens. When Anthony is told, he actually shows true emotion. He actually does care, and his mother tells him, don't let true love get away. It's one of the sweetest scenes in the last 2 episodes. However, when Kate wakes up, for some reason, even though she's been in a coma, one of the first things she asks is, did Anthony visit? And when they tell her, after he rescued her, no, he did not visit, she's upset. I hate that. First of all, waking up from a coma, why is that one of the first things she asks about? Wouldn't she be foggier than that? Second of all, the fact that she's angry is just so illogical. I know it's an emotional response, but it's just infuriating. Anthony is emotional. He now goes over with flowers and asks her to marry him. And she refuses, saying nope. She's mad at him. I mean, she doesn't say she's mad at him, but it's obvious. She's kind of giving him a cold shoulder. And she says she's going back to India. Just done. I'm tired. They've dragged it on for too long. I'm tired. Uh-oh. Okay, so Eloise and Penelope had a fight. Penelope blows up because she thinks Eloise's secret meetings with Theo are irresponsible, and she's sick of hearing about Lady Whistledown. Eloise is upset with her, but she does end up breaking Theo's heart and breaking it off. Then she sees Penelope at the Featheringtons' ball, and she tells her about Theo, and she says her search for Lady Whistledown is officially over. Penelope hooks arms with her. She's so happy, and she starts to tell her some gossip that she heard. At first, Eloise is into it, and then she slowly turns her head. She says, oh, those are very keen observations, Pen. I think she's just realized that Penelope, who's been a wallflower for season after season, is the perfect candidate for Lady Whistledown. I'm pretty sure I told you earlier, Penelope wrote about Eloise as Lady Whistledown. She wrote about her secret relationship with Theo. She was trying to help her with the Queen, but it was still a betrayal because that was a secret that Eloise trusted her with. Now that Eloise knows, this does not bode well. I don't think Eloise will necessarily rat her out to the public, but this will definitely affect their friendship. God dang it. So, we're not at the end of the episode yet, but Kate and Anthony are dancing at a ball in front of everyone. The Queen approves, Edwina approves, she makes sure everyone else approves and isn't gossiping about them. And they're playing this beautiful classical version of Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. It's a beautiful scene, but I'm crying because of me. And it kind of happened out of nowhere. And I feel like I just want to lay in bed with the lights off and sob and wallow in self-pity. This is the part when White Horse by Taylor Swift starts playing.
Ser promes que donne jamais.
Yes, it is a promise.
It seems the two of us are finally seeing eye to eye on something.
It took way too long. I'm crying because I'm so relieved. Oh my god. These two have put me through it. Oh my god. Why is the show like this? I was so upset 10, 15 minutes ago. I've liked Kate, I've hated Kate. I've liked Anthony, I've hated Anthony. I've liked the couple, I've hated the couple. At the very end, they finally get together and they are sizzling hot. They apparently do have very good chemistry. In my opinion, that chemistry at the end when they're finally together and happy, I see it. But the back and forth enemies to lovers chemistry for the last 7 episodes, I did not feel it consistently. It did not translate all the time. But they sucked me back in at the end.
Now who's to begin?
I suppose he is. No time! I presume that means the game is finally started. You know that was your turn.
Just wait. Just
And yours through marriage.
I do
Wait.
not recall ever making such an agreement.
Ah, well, that is between you and him.
Does not listen to me.
I believe I do.
oh my god.
I suppose that means they're cutting out.
No.
Best they've ever been.
This was such an to understand.
And admit defeat. Never.
Wait, what? I'm getting chills just now and I've already seen it. Oh, Lord. Yeah, she knows. What a ride that was. The other things of note, Lady Featherington was like this close to falling for Lord Featherington's charm and running away with him to America. One of the weirdest storylines this season. I don't really like it, but in the end, she stands up for herself and her daughters and tells him to get out. He's going back alone and penniless, and their whole scam is over. And the whole reason it comes to a head is because Colin Bridgerton figures out that it's a scam, and he tells him he needs to leave town. He wants Lady Featherington to come with him, and she finally says no. She sees through his phony seduction, and honestly, it's the one and only time I've ever been on Lady Featherington's side. She genuinely stood up for herself and her daughters, because he's going on and on about, I need you, we're a great team, and she's like, no, I've got a team, my 3 girls. That's my team, my family, we don't need you. Yes, I loved that. I still don't think she's a good person, but like, right on, sister. What else? Eloise and Penelope had the worst fight ever because Eloise went into her room and found money. And she put it all together. She knows she's Lady Whistledown. They both say horrible things to each other, and Eloise never wants to see her again. To make matters worse, Penelope had danced with Colin earlier in the night. He's being really nice to her, and she thinks he's finally reciprocating her feelings. When she goes to look for Eloise after their fight, she overhears Colin and some of his friends, and they're saying, oh, you were dancing with Penelope. Are you going to court her now? And he says, you know I would never court Penelope Featherington. I'm not saying Penelope's made great choices, especially the thing about, writing about Eloise and Theo. I know she thought she was helping, but that was not the right choice. However, that poor girl has been through the ringer. Lady Whistledown is her outlet. She stopped writing after the article about Eloise because she felt so guilty. But after this latest chain of events, she sits down and she's back writing as Lady Whistledown because once again, it's her source of strength amidst the chaos. Eloise, on the other hand, is miserable. We'll see what happens with that in season 3. Benedict found out that he was accepted into art school because his brother, Anthony, made a big donation. Despite that, Anthony tells him, you are talented. You would have made it anyways. You need to keep painting if you love to paint. We see him in a studio, but he closes his art kit, so I don't really know what that means, because I'm assuming season 3 is about Benedict. So maybe he's giving up art for now, and the next season we see him serious about finding a wife, because he has been messing around. He's the second son, so he doesn't take anything seriously, and maybe now he's realizing it's time to grow up and be a little more serious. Seriously, I was not impressed with episode 8. I was about to say I disliked it as much as episode 7, but they went out with a bang at the end. Kate and Anthony's chemistry came in clutch and saved the episode. I ended up liking it a little bit more than episode 7, and it was a good finish. No, it was a great finish. Like, they were sizzling, and I like that because it felt like a reward after a disappointing season. It was underwhelming, but it made me feel and took me on a journey, so it wasn't a flop. I think it's just landing in the middle. I feel like season 1 was 5 stars. I would say season 2 is probably a 3, maybe slightly above a 3. I've sat with my thoughts for a little over 2 weeks, and now I think it's time to end this vlog. I want to say that I am so happy for all of the people freaking out over Bridgerton season 2 on social media. I am living vicariously through you. Your excitement is encouraging me. It's making me want to re-watch it even more, which is something I really needed because watching it by myself was quite the emotional roller coaster ride. I've already tried to re-watch it, but I was still feeling a slump from the first time, so I'm going to give it a little more time. But don't you worry, I will be rewatching it, and I think the second time around, things that bothered me the first time won't be that big a deal. I have a feeling I'm going to be way less critical. The gist of my final thoughts is that I think Kate and Anthony have amazing chemistry. I just did not connect to it the entire season. This couple was made for the enemies to lovers trope. However, I don't think it was executed to its highest potential. I think the slow burn was dragged out for way too long. I also didn't love the love triangle with her sister Edwina. She kept insisting she wanted to do what's best for her sister, but in the end, her sister was hurt 10 times worse than if everybody had been honest earlier in the show. I got the enemies to lovers vision. I caught sparks of it throughout the show. It really ignited in the very end. It just wasn't the consistent flame that I was wanting. There are so many more things I could talk about, rant about, but the only thing I'll touch on is this. I've been seeing some fans of the show calling out other fans, saying that the only reason they like season 1 better is because it's steamier. I'm someone who likes season 1 better than season 2. I don't like steamy books or TV shows or movies. I can only be honest about how I felt. I felt consistent chemistry in season 1 with Simon and Daphne. I felt chemistry with Anthony and Kate, but it wasn't consistent. Therefore, I felt underwhelmed by season 2, which puts it below season 1. Be careful when you put blanket statements like that out there on social media because you alienate fans just because they don't agree with your opinion. You can't put your opinion in their mouth. That's your opinion. It's not a fact. Stepping off my soapbox now, let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever watched Bridgerton season 1? Did you watch Bridgerton season 2? What did you think? Which season do you like better? Did you agree with my opinions or did you disagree with my opinions? Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that red button down below to subscribe and become a member of my YouTube family. Also, click the bell to turn on your notifications. Click the link down below to become a patron and financially support future content. There are 10 tiers to choose from, something for every budget. My comment section is always open, and video suggestions from you are always welcome. I will see you in my next video. Bye!